Fallout 76 is a game plagued by misconceptions. This game is done now. It wasn't done upon release. And looking at what we've got, yes, there are criticisms that I have of this game. In the regard of, look at all these damn microtransactions, and look at all this in-game currency. They give you just enough to want a little more, just like every other game. But it is all voluntary. You don't have to buy anything, you don't have to spend a dime. Fallout 76, although it had a rocky start, it's in a fine spot now, and I'd like to take you through the journey that I had when it comes to Fallout 76, because this is not a game that I considered to be completely ruined. I gave it a year, because I said this game is not finished. Now I would consider it at a point where it is more than tolerable. It's almost enjoyable. In fact, I would say it is enjoyable. If you're hopping in for the first time ever, they'll give you a little birthday hat, a little party hat. They'll throw you into the world and boom. There are actually so many nice people within the world of Fallout 76. This community has to be one of the most wholesome, helpful. I mean, there's not enough compliments that I could give to the community of Fallout 76. This guy right here hooked me up with my starter kit of everything I needed. Hooking it up with food, stims, water. I mean, I was a survivor right from outside the gate. Up to the point I'm at now. I'm more than a survivor now. I thrive. But looking at where we're at with Fallout 76 in the community, I would say people think this game sucks way harder than it actually does. 16 times the detail may be a funny meme, a goofy joke on the industry. And yeah, I personally think 16 times the detail is wrong. The map, to me, it's large, it's extensively explorable. And it is fun to explore, yeah. But at the same time, it is god-awfully ugly. For a Bethesda game, for a Fallout game, it is so rough-looking in some spots that I can't look away. But the fundamentals are here. If you're a fan of Fallout, Fallout 4, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, this game has some great opportunity for you to enjoy a Fallout experience. One aspect of Fallout 76 that certainly surprised me was the audio, the ambiance, the atmosphere. When I said this feels like a Fallout game, I meant that sincerely. From the music, to the explosions in the distance, the background ambience, the overall atmosphere of this game flows. I would say, as a Fallout game, this nails it. This is really exactly what we needed. Some of the audio from Fallout 4 crossed over, and some of the voice work, some of the voiceovers, the acting could be a little better. But at the same time, this game without NPCs, I have no idea what that looked like, but I'll tell you, this as a first experience from someone who just stepped out of the vault, this is a great introduction. And I'll kind of let it speak for itself for the most part.
Lady, I will paint the walls with you if you don't tell me where Crane's treasure is right now!
Sweetheart, I think you must be sick, because pointing a gun at me in my own bar is a terminal affliction. Look around. You think I'm having my people piece this place together out of mobile homes 'cause I'm thrifty? Do I look like I know where this treasure is?
Shut up! You got 10 seconds to tell me where Crane is!
Honey, you picked the wrong time to get a drink.
What are you? Hey! Who the hell are you?
Hindsight is 20/20. I wonder what would have happened if I attacked him.
None of your damn business.
What's going on? is that this one seems to think I know where this big treasure is, and that I'm building my new bar out of refuse for fun.
Lady, this is your last warning. Our crew is getting that treasure. And I will happily send you both to the great goddamn beyond if you don't start explaining where I can find what's ours.
This man wants something that I don't have, she doesn't have. Let's play the card of let's play together.
Hiring? You serious? You got a gun in your face and the first thing that comes to mind is picking up a side gig? Guts like that might take you places. What say you and I finish shaking down this broad and then we...
I told you it was gonna end badly. Now I'm hoping you're here to have a drink and play nice. I've had a gun pointed at me more than enough for one day.
As a hook in a video game, that's essentially exactly what we look for. And the road forward was filled with friends. Yes, indeed. Brass Tacks was not on his own. There are many things to do in the world of Fallout 76, but what you do for the most part is kill zombies. That's really what I did more than anything. Now they say men of culture refer to them as ghouls, but to me, a feral ghoul is nothing more than a zombie. If they had a voice, if they had a way of speaking to me, well, that'd be different. The Scorched as well. They are nothing more than zombies to me. The shooting may look exactly the same as Fallout 4's, but I would say something here has been tweaked or changed. It feels way more precise. I can get headshots off like nothing. You'll see later in the video, once I'm more acclimated to this video game, that it is indeed as easy as putting butter on toast. It just flows right on. Flat out, this game is exactly what I wanted when it comes to a Fallout experience. Defending this area, helping my friend stay alive, my friend helping me. You know what I'm saying? It was like actual teamwork in an apocalypse situation. That's what I've always wanted in these games. A feeling of community, a feeling of reality. This video has been in the making for about a year now. This footage you're looking at is a year old. Let's jump forward and see if I feel the same. The previous mission had led to a lot of rewards, and there was much to be shared between us both, but we parted ways. There was a lot of violence on the road moving forward. There was a lot of survival to be had, a lot of meals to be cooked. I basically ate rat and dog for months. And when we get right down to it, that's what these games are. Survival. Survival of the fittest. See who can really keep going. And eventually thrive. I eventually thrive. But do we get to the place where we want to be? I'm not sure we do. But the path forward is filled with a lot of tension. The main reason being not because of the enemies, but the harsh conditions ahead. You'll notice in Fallout 76 that there is a certain lack of supplies. You know, it's not just bullets, it's not just clean water. You really gotta camp out, cook. You gotta think about how you're going to get through things. Unless you've got a team established already, this is one harsh journey forward. Like I mentioned earlier, the shooting overall in Fallout 76 feels better than Fallout 4. But the enemies actually seem to have a harder time shooting me than ever in any Fallout game I've seen. They almost never hit me with their bullets. Occasionally you'll run into an enemy that's a little bit more adept, and maybe they'll have a more precise weapon, but most of the time their shots just fly past me, and I have a chance to get away and take cover. not receive damage. It's pretty compelling the way combat works, and it feels realistic, but it's less precise, I would say, on the end of the enemy than it is in any Fallout game. They really miss most of their shots. I've noticed that more than ever. Me, though, nope. The survival elements of this game elevate it in the way that actually I think other Fallout games should follow. I feel like I have to eat food, I have to drink clean water, I have to sit down and cook a meal, maybe take a rest. These are elements that should be present in most RPGs, but are not. There's a factor of this game I haven't talked too much about, and that's the online presence of events. You can run to these events, engage in them, and collect XP with other players, but most of the time I'm ignoring them if I'm not in the area. If I'm not within running distance, I basically just do my own thing.
Go ahead and activate it so you can check the alarm in the stash room. Make sure he doesn't take too much damage.
Melee combat is still unbelievably clunky, and I do not know what Bethesda is going to do about this, but my goodness gracious, God Almighty, have mercy on my bittersweet soul. These animations, the melee combat is really just so dissatisfying in almost all Fallout games. But it's still effective, and if you're right up in their face, swinging an axe, you can get the job done. But it does take discipline. You have to swing at exactly the right time. It's so odd that they can't get it right, and they never really have. As far as the VATS system, it's fine, it's there, but I am not somebody who uses it in this game. It's just a little bit, let's say, modern for my taste. I'd rather have the VATS slowdown system. And I know that's not possible because it's an online game where time can't slow down, but it's just a fact of the matter. I prefer the old VATS system. This is great for whoever enjoys it, but I am not one of those people. As far as the weapons go and what you're packing most of the time, it comes down to revolvers, pipe pistols, shotties, but actually what I look at determining what I need in combat, I look at the ammunition, how much I have, because that's what it comes down to in this game. 18 rounds is usually what I'm working with, and walking around with 18 rounds in an apocalypse where you can get into any situation, that's pretty intense. And I do appreciate the fact that it is more realistic than other games have been. Too generous with ammunition makes for a less fun game. This may be unknown to most developers, but gamers like to have the moments where they sweat, where they have to think about the situation they're in instead of just deal with it with piles and piles of ammo and grenades and rockets. It's like, no, we don't want that. We want to have the moments where we're in a ditch with 3 bullets. Like, literally, we're on the edge of death and we have to figure it out. That's something I like digging myself out of. When it comes to Fallout 76, it does provide this. Not all the time, though, do you feel like you're in any sort of situation. Sometimes you're just enjoying the world around you. When you are thrown into situations where it's a life or death matter, the game hits its peak. But when you're chilling out and you're having one of those moments where it's maybe a nostalgia trip or just checking out what the artists have done, you'll see sometimes that there are indeed glitches and bugs. If you examine the details of this game, you'll definitely notice some things are missing or wrong at times. But overall, my glitches, my compilation of what is wrong with this game is slimmer than most. And honestly, maybe back in the day, it was different. But my experience with this game leads me to believe that it is a fulfilling experience, it is filled with content, and I do enjoy what I have played so far. Will I return to Fallout 76? Hell yes I will. but it's just going to take some time to get back in there. I'm kind of lost and overwhelmed when it comes to building my camp or taking care of any of my materials. The elements of this game I engage with most are the first-person shooter mechanics, going out and actually engaging in combat, and looking for different ways to survive, looking for different foods, different resources, different areas where I can collect said resources, and gaining knowledge and information. It's kind of like reconning the apocalypse, taking note of where I can go and where I cannot. Sometimes it's indicated, but sometimes it's also left up to me to find out that I'm breathing toxic gas, that the air I'm breathing is incorrect. My overall takeaway from my experience of Fallout 76 is that it's Fallout 4 boosted up. It's the next step in what would be a Fallout revolution. You know, moving forward, this step was inevitable. It's really just too bad that Fallout 76 had such a rocky start. It will remain in people's minds forever that this is a broken game. But it is not a broken game, as you can see. It's just a little bit clunky in spots. The 16 times the detail meme, I mean, that's just a meme. But looking at what they have here, it is larger than Fallout 4. It takes a step beyond Fallout 4. Some of the things within that game are better now. Some of the things are worse. But overall, the fact that this is on Game Pass, I didn't pay anything for it. I never will pay anything for it, or buy atoms, or any of that microtransaction nonsense. It's a fulfilling game with a great concept, a great team, and they eventually made it work out. I don't know how the Battle Royale or whatever they were working on worked out, but this is a solid experience that you can play alone, but I do suggest playing it with people because it is fun to just get together and roam the wild wasteland. Holy smokes. I do enjoy Fallout 76, and I suggest it if you're a Fallout fan, but it's hard to say that this game is going to have a long lifespan. There's still more road ahead for Fallout 76, and rest assured, what comes next will be different. The lead director of this project moved on to do his own thing, and now what we're left with is a game that is not hollow. It's filled with content, but the player base is divided. People who enjoy it. The people who dunk on it probably don't give it a chance or the time of day because they hold something against Todd Howard or Bethesda. But me, I find the value in Fallout 76. Bethesda games are a step above, and I'd like anyone to show me something that is better than this. I would actually really appreciate any suggestions as far as an RPG goes, especially one where you can fool around, mess with the mechanics, just really relax in your I want to live in this world. I want to express my enjoyment of life in this world and really go through the daily task of surviving. And as the journey comes to an end, unfortunately, this is what I was talking about. Some of the information you're given is necessary. Some of the information you're not given is also necessary, like wear a gas mask in this area. There was very little indication of this, and by the time I knew anything, I was already unconscious or dead. I'm not sure exactly what happens in Fallout 76 when you die, but I did return to my camp. I don't feel like I lost anything, but at the same time, who really knows? They could have taken half my caps and I wouldn't know it. But the point of this game is still survival. It's not about all the goods in your backpack. It's about the road ahead and keeping things moving. Until next time, folks, ta-ta.